Tonight on Live from the Theater Basement, it's an evening of spoken word, part 2. Yes, there was a part 1, but we did part 3. Stay tuned for that. 3 Northern Arizona poets give it their all. Julie Morrison, Kate Rose, Robert Yowell, with an evening of spoken word. Tonight, here on Live from the Theater Basement.
Warner's Nursery is a family-owned and operated garden center in Flagstaff, Arizona, dedicated to providing premier quality plants at reasonable prices, excellent customer service, and expert gardening advice. Warner's Nursery, 1101 East Butler Avenue, is proud to support Theatrikos' reopening production of Native Gardens.
I'm your host, Chris Farrell. Tonight's poets, Kate Rose, Julie Morrison, Robert Yowell, in an evening of spoken word, part 2, here on Live from the Theater Basement.
Hi, my name's Kate Rose, and I'm going to read 2 poems for you here. These were written this past summer, and they're all kind of about exploring this area here around Flagstaff in northern Arizona, which I'd never been to before, and kind of moved here kind of randomly about a year and a half ago. And they're also kind of about playing music again after not playing for about 20 years. So maybe some of you can relate to that as well. So this first one is called Owl's Song. Well then, if you want to play that violin, play it. Play it loose, play it light, play it till the moon comes into sight. Play it over a volcano and down the cinders of a hot land. Play it over and under the high waves as they crash. Play it by moonlight looking for an island that keeps inching away but promises someday to be found. Play it light, play it loose, play it without fingers, play it without hands or arms, play it without notes, without bow, without strings. Play it without a song, with only one sound, bubbling from Earth's cauldron. You don't know that sound, seek it. If you don't seek that sound, know it, yes, know it simply. But please play it light and play it loose or I will die. Know it as it passes and grab its feathered cap, its beret, its cowboy hat, its sombrero, so it stays for tea, yes, sit it down. And whatever it drinks of you, be gracious and gifted with the owl's call. It seeks only sustenance of an ancient hunger. And in that hunger we meet. And in that hunger we dance our twisted movements. And in that hunger we sing our tuneless song. We meet in the ancient belly rumble. We meet in the hay and have a tumble. We meet in the sky and ride a shooting star. We meet on the bed of the pickup truck driving fast across the desert where there are no roads and upward till the moon and coyotes are near. Meet me there and please be on time. Bring that violin and meet me there. Driving home, I heard a harmonica and thought it was you streaking back across the hours. The owl sisters are still on the rock. In their water, we are whole. In it, we feed on the forest, below us gliding golden above the plants that never feel it hair. I grow a lush field so the horse comes back.
Hi, hey, my name is Bob Yowell, and Lawrence Ferlingetti, the famous beat poet, passed away recently. So I thought I'd read a few of his poems. He's one of my favorite poets, if you will. These poems are from Coney Island of the Mind, which is a very famous little book that he's written. He's also famous because, City Lights bookstore in San Francisco. Also, he had published, I think, Ginsberg, a famous poem, long poem, Howell, which, by the way, went to the court for obscenity, but won for free speech. And so those whole hip poets, if you will. All right, this is a poem called I Am Waiting. I'm waiting for my case to come up, and I'm waiting for a rebirth of wonder. And I'm waiting for someone to really discover America and wail. And I'm waiting for the discovery of a new symbolic Western frontier. And I'm waiting for the American eagle to really spread its wings and straighten up and fly right. And I am waiting for the age of anxiety to drop dead. And I'm waiting for the war to be fought, which will make the world safe for anarchy. And I'm waiting for the final withering away of all governments, and I am perpetually awaiting a rebirth of wonder. I am waiting for the second coming, and I am waiting for a religious revival to sweep through the state of Arizona. And I'm waiting for the grapes of wrath to be stored. And I'm waiting for them to prove that God is really America, and I am waiting to see God on television, piped into church altars, if only they can find the right channel to tune in on. And I'm waiting for the Last Supper to be served again with a strange new appetizer. And I am perpetually awaiting a rebirth of wonder. I'm waiting for my number to be called, and I'm waiting for the Salvation Army to take over. And I'm waiting for the meek to be blessed and inherit the world without taxes. And I'm waiting for forests and animals to reclaim the earth as theirs. And I am waiting to be devised to destroy all nationalism without killing anybody. And I'm waiting for linnets and planets to fall like rain. And I'm waiting for lovers and weepers to lie down again in a new rebirth of wonder. And I'm waiting for the great divide to be crossed. And I'm anxiously waiting for the secret eternal life to be discovered by an obscure general practitioner. And I'm waiting for the storm of life to be over, and I'm waiting to set sail for happiness. And I'm waiting for a reconstructed Mayflower to reach America with its picture story and TV rights sold in advance to the natives. And I'm waiting for the lost music to sound again in the lost continent and in the rebirth of wonder. And I'm waiting for the day that maketh all things clear. And I'm waiting for retribution for what America did to Tom Sawyer. And I'm waiting for Alice in Wonderland to retransmit to me her total dream of innocence. And I'm waiting for Aphrodite to grow live arms at a final disarmament conference and a new rebirth of wonder. And I am waiting to get some imitations of immortality by recollecting my early childhood. And I'm waiting for the green morning to come again. Youth's dumb green fields come back again, and I am waiting for some strains of unpremeditated art to shake my typewriter. And I'm waiting to write the great indelible poem, and I'm waiting for the last long careless rapture, and I am perpetually waiting for the fleeting lovers on the Grecian urn to catch each other up at last and embrace. And I am awaiting perpetually and forever a renaissance of wonder. This is Dog by Lawrence Ferlingetti. The dog trots freely in the street and sees reality. And the things he sees are bigger than himself. And the things he sees are his reality. Drunks in doorways, moons on trees. The dog trots freely through the street, and the things he sees are smaller than himself. Fish on newsprint, ants in holes, chickens in Chinatown windows. Their heads a block away. The dog trots freely in the street, and the things he smells something like himself. The dog trots freely in the street past puddles and babies, cats and cigars, pool rooms and policemen. He doesn't hate cops. He merely has no use for them. And he goes past them, and he goes past dead cows hung up whole in front of the San Francisco meat market. He would rather eat a tender cow than a tough policeman, although either might do. And he goes past the Romeo Raviola factory, and past Coit's Tower, and past Congressman Doyle. But what he hears is very discouraging, very depressing, very absurd to a sad young dog like himself. to a serious dog like himself. But he has his own free will to live in. He has his own fleas to eat. He will not be muzzled. Congressman Doyle is just another fire hydrant to him. The dog trots freely in the street and has his own dog's life to live, to think about, to reflect upon, touching and tasting and testing everything, investigating everything without perjury of benefit of perjury. A real realist with a real tale to tell and a real tale to tell it with. A real live barking democratic dog engaged in free enterprise with something to say about ontology, something to say about reality and how to see it and how to hear it, with his head cocked sideways at street corners, as if he is just about have his picture taken via Victory Records, listening for his master's voice and looking like a living question mark into the great gramophone of puzzling existence, with its wondrous hollow horn, which always seems just about to spout forth some victorious answer to everything. Lawrence Ferlingetti, a Coney Island of the mind. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julie Morrison. This is a poem called Unraveled. I am prompted to share this piece. I wrote it from Theatrikos, asking to hear about unity. And during this time of COVID, I thought, what could be more unifying than what we've hated about it? And so with that in mind, here is Unraveled. In the fabric of our lives, isolation has left us all hanging by a thread. Society that used to be a tapestry of gatherings, meetups, visits, and chance encounters became a threadbare quilt, strained and mismatched patches, barely adhering to its original design. Time with loved ones has been cut short or cut out entirely. Masks have been a pill, as smiles became snarls against seemingly surface fibers, all knotted up for no big or deeply harmful reason, likely just rubbed the wrong way, as we've all been shelved, wrapped up only in ourselves, waiting for the day when we can roll out, reveling in the choice of new patterns. Until then, isolation is coarse and spare, a sackcloth with no grace for the grieving, that will not be softened by time, even if we're long worn out by its wear. For we have all been rubbed raw by its discomforts, shrouded by its darkness, all but mummified by its binds. What a day it will be when we can unwind together, take off the sad coatings isolation has cast, to let our spirits stretch, sleeveless, toward the warmth of one another's company, where by and by we might observe that we have
Experience an elevated senior living lifestyle at The Bluffs in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. Imagine an intimate and authentic retirement lifestyle enhanced by custom-tailored 5-star quality service in an upscale community at the edge of a picturesque mountain. The Bluffs in Flagstaff, Arizona.
An evening of spoken word part 2. Part 3 will be coming up in some time. I don't know when, but it's coming. Directors Jan Rominger and Bob Yowell. Thank you, Jan and Bob, for putting this whole thing together. Poets Julie Morrison, Kate Rose, and Bob Yowell himself. Live from the theater basement, producers Ashley Larson, Linda Sotera. Engineers Sam Bradbury, Matt Brewer. Technicians Ava Haynes and Jaden Roberts. Associate producers Virginia Brown, Joe Maniglia, and Michael Roulon. Our correspondents, Mackenzie Chase, Jamie Hassapis, Lynn Timmons Edwards, and Sel Wasson. Our crew takes a whole bunch of people to do this show. Bailey Cunningham, Sam Dickman, Angela Keith, Malene LaBerge, Justin Moscow, and Christopher Celestino. Dramaturgy, Theatrikos Artistic Committee, Play Curation, Northern Arizona Playwriting Showcase, Executive Producer, Chris Sparrow. Live from the theater basement, streaming live on Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. and available wherever you get your podcast, is a production of Theatrikos Theatre Company in partnership with Northern Arizona Playwriting Showcase and Deuteron Films. Theatrikos Theatre Company, Flagstaff, Arizona, is the theater company of Northern Arizona and the Grand Canyon, embracing the spirit of Broadway with such shows as the anti-Shakespearean comedy I Hate Hamlet. Do you like Hamlet? Well, I hope not, because if you don't, if you hate Hamlet, you will love this comedy. The show runs October 1st through October 17th. We are still implementing very cautious safety protocols to make you feel as safe as possible under the circumstances. The entire audience and the cast and crew are all masked, all socially distant, and starting September 30th with the preview of I Hate Hamlet, we will all be vaccinated here at Theatrikos. Live from the theater basement, the weekly podcast streaming show of Theatrikos Theatre Company alternates between 10-minute interviews and wonderful performances like the one you saw tonight. If you as a listener viewer have input, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at theater@theatrikos.com. Live from the theater basement, streaming live on Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. and available wherever you get your podcasts, is funded in part by Creative Flagstaff, formerly Flagstaff Arts Council, and the Arizona Community Foundation. Additional funding from Arizona Commission on the Arts, Flagstaff 365, BBB Revenue of the City of Flagstaff, Calf Country Radio, and patrons of the arts like you. Thanks for joining us tonight on Live from the Theater Basement. This is Theatrikos. Coming up next week on Live from the Theater Basement, hey, do you like Hamlet? Well, I hope not, because we're going to be interviewing the cast and crew of the anti-Shakespearean comedy I Hate Hamlet. That's next Sunday, August 29th at 7:30 p.m. and wherever you get your podcasts.